Hello and welcome to SVTV. I'm David Blackmore.
And I'm Hannah Jackson. So coming up on today's show, I talked to Helen Gasparelli, who works here at the Sutton Volunteer Centre, which just so happens to be, David, the venue for this month's show.
That's right, Hannah, and I'm going to be speaking to Richard Moore from Arts Network Sutton. But first, let's catch up with the latest good news stories from around this wonderful borough of Sutton, which it is.
It is.
With Emma Dempsey.
Are you a green-fingered resident? Well, Sutton Council's free garden waste collection service came to an end last month. Scheduled fortnightly, collections for the new paid-for green garden waste collection have now begun. If you haven't signed up for the new service yet, or you'd like to discover more, visit the council's website displayed at the bottom of your screen. If not, the council has urged gardeners not to put garden waste in their brown bins, as this is for non-recyclable waste only. Green waste can be disposed at Kimpton Parkway Reuse and Recycling Centre. Residents can now receive free home composting bins thanks to the authority successfully bidding for funding from the Department of Communities and Local Government. Homeowners can now order their choice of a 220 and a 330 litre bin and pay just £5 for delivery. Visit the webpage displayed at the bottom of your screen to discover more about free home composting bins. Jobs, homes. Two important words that can mean so much for a borough. Now the South London Partnership, which includes Sutton, has held its first public meeting where it presented the huge growth potential for the region. This can mean thousands of new jobs and homes for local residents. The partnership's case to the government for devolution to deliver the biggest growth opportunity in the capital includes the largest office location outside of central London. This opportunity is set to create 20,000 new homes and 500,000 new jobs by 2036. Moving on. There's an exciting opportunity this summer for amateur photographers to have a unique and lasting showcase for their work. The Wandle Valley Forum, Wandle Valley Regional Park Trust and Living Wandle Landscape Partnership are launching a photographic competition to capture all aspects of the Wandle Valley across the 4 boroughs. There are 4 categories, each representing a key aspect of the valley's rich diversity: natural Wandle, urban Wandle, Wandle folk and working Wandle. The winning images will be used on the new WVRP website and in its digital archive. The winner will be used on the website's homepage.
Thanks for the update, Emma. Now let's introduce our first guest. She's the Mentoring, Advocacy and Peer Support, or MAPS for short, manager here at the Sutton Volunteer Centre. Let's welcome Helen Gasparelli. Thank you so much for joining us, Helen. So tell us how you got involved with MAPS.
Oh, it's quite an interesting story actually, because I started as a volunteer myself. About 9 years ago, I moved to the borough and I was really keen to get involved in something in my community to help me get to know it. And at that same time, I just started an open university degree. Wanted to change my career, wanted to go into youth work, but youth work's a really broad spectrum and I wasn't sure what area I wanted to go into, so I thought volunteering would be a great opportunity to get some experience. So I contacted the Volunteer Centre and among many opportunities, they brought me to mentoring. So I came along to the training. Absolutely fell in love with the project from the training. The team were infectious and I just thought, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do for my career. So I became a volunteer and supported a number of young people and eventually applied for a position here, which I was successful in. And then over the years, just got more experience and eventually became the MAPS manager. And the rest is history, really.
So as of today, how many people have you connected with so far? And are these people from across Sutton?
That's a really good question. I think if we're talking since I started at MAPS, thousands. But in the last year, we've actually connected as a project with over 300 young people. And they live in all 18 wards of the Borough of Sutton. Some of them live in our neighbouring boroughs because if they're a looked after child, they might not be placed here locally. So we try and support children where we can to make sure that no one misses out. The success of our mentoring programme really is that it's voluntary. So children and young people don't have to be a part of it. It's not a statutory service. No one's going to make them do it. And MAPS is very much about empowering young people to make their own decisions. So when we go and meet them for the first time, one of the very first things we tell them is that they don't actually have to be part of the project if they don't want to. So they have that choice. And we tell them that our volunteers are giving their time freely. They're not paid to be there. They're simply doing it because they want to. And young people find that really powerful. They actually find it quite amazing that somebody wants to do something for free. So it's a good example to set them. But But they find that really powerful, that actually somebody just wants to spend time with them, to support them and to help them. So we give the volunteers the opportunity to be part of the project. We give the young people the opportunity to be part of the project. And as a result of giving people the power of choice, we have a 91% take up in service from young people, which is really very high. So we're very proud of the service that we provide.
Now, the thing that's really impressed us is that the mentors have so far generated more than £125,000 in social value. So have you got a bigger target in mind, and how are you going to get there?
I think it's a really interesting question, because it's really important to be able to demonstrate social value for a number of reasons. But for me, what's more important than the actual number is the impact on children and young people. So for me, it's about the work that our volunteers do. It's about them being face to face with young people and journeying with them for a whole year. Our mentoring program is a year-long service. So mentors really get the opportunity to build up a trusting relationship with young people. So they meet once a week, each week, for around 1 to 2 hours. And they'll go out into the local community, they'll do positive activities. It's a space and time where a young person can kind of unpack life and talk through some of their challenges if they want to, with somebody who's trusted and that's safe and that's going to support them, that's not going to judge them. And the impact of that is phenomenal. But with ever-growing demand on services, we're always trying to recruit more volunteers. We have more young people referred to us year on year, and we are always trying to find more people that want to work in their local community, that just have a passion for young people and want to support them. So I would sort of urge anybody who's interested in volunteering to get in contact with the Volunteer Centre Sutton, and also speak to one of the MAPS team. You don't have to have any special skills. You simply have to be able to listen and be non-judgmental. That's all we ask.
Now, the future is looking pretty bright for MAPS, isn't it? You've been awarded 3 years funding by the big lottery fund Reaching Communities. Congratulations. So what is this funding going to be used for?
So this is a really exciting piece of funding. This is going to enable us to provide a mentoring service to young carers for a 3-year period. We work very closely with Sutton Carers Centre, who provide a diverse range of activities and support for people in caring roles. But what we recognised through referrals that were being made to our services is that they are unable to provide a one-to-one service for a long period of time. So we saw that there was this gap and recognised that we could provide mentoring support to those young people. And what's really great is that the Carers Centre can refer to us, but equally, if we identify young people that don't know about or aren't accessing the Carers Centre, we can refer to them. So it's about getting a real community approach to supporting young people and their families.
Now, you also did say something about Sutton Council.
Oh yes, we've been very lucky enough to be awarded another 3-year funding pot from Sutton Council this year, and that's to provide an advocacy service. Advocacy is slightly different from mentoring in that advocacy is all about having a child or young person's voice heard in meetings where decisions are made about them. So for example, if a young person is going onto a child protection plan, they can have their thoughts and wishes presented at those meetings where decisions are made about them.
Now, finally, is it true that MAPS is the Queen's favourite mentoring programme?
I personally like to think so, yes. In all seriousness, we were awarded an organisational MBE, which is the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. This was last year, so in June last year, 4 of us went up to Buckingham Palace to a garden party, which was completely awe-inspiring, I have to say. I spent quite a lot of the day just staring at things, which was amazing. And it's an award that recognises the contribution of volunteers in our local community. So really, it's an award not just for MAPS, but for every single volunteer that supports young people in Sutton.
Well, thank you very much, Helen, for joining us on SVTV. So if you'd like to discover more about MAPS, then go to the website. We've got the details at the bottom of the screen. You can also follow them on Facebook and Twitter. But for now, we're going to be joining Emma for some more stories around Sutton. Take it away.
With crime down by 35% over the last 10 years, Sutton is now one of the lowest crime boroughs in London. Guy Ferguson said the Neighbourhood Watch would play a key role in helping police drive down crime even further. He urged members to be a good neighbour by keeping an eye on elderly and vulnerable residents in their street and to call the police if something didn't look or feel right. Good news if you're looking for some summer entertainment. There are lots of events coming up over the warmer months, most of which are ideal for the whole family. There are fairs and community events, activities at our libraries and ecology centre, new stand-up comedy at the Charles Cryer Theatre and much more. The Take Part, Take Pride Festival, coordinated by Sutton Council, aims to bring local residents together and provide plenty of things for the whole family. Sticking with festivals, more than 300 students filled the David Weir Leisure Centre for a festival of sports recently. This event offers students with learning and physical disabilities from Carshalton College, Kingston College, Orchard Hill and Carew Academy the opportunity to engage in an exciting day of sports and cultural activities. The Mayor of Sutton paid testament to the organisation of such a big event, praising staff, students and volunteers for their great effort. And finally, if you're an employer in the borough, Sutton Voice offers a free job listing service. This service is viewed by hundreds of job hunters every week, is updated regularly and is part of Sutton Voice's stated aims of supporting the various communities which are essential to making our borough stronger.
Thanks for that update, Emma. Now for our next guest. The art scene in Sutton is bigger and better than ever before. So who better to talk about it than Richard Moore from Arts Network Sutton. Let's welcome him. Richard, thank you so much for joining us on SVTV. Now, for those of you who don't know, what is Arts Network Sutton?
Well, Arts Network Sutton, David, is a charity. It was set up a year ago with funding from the Borough of Sutton. And basically we have been set up to promote, champion and nurture act as an inclusive voice for like a wide range of arts in Sutton.
Now, one thing in particular that seems to be very exciting for your organisation and indeed Sutton as a whole is Smarts. Tell us more about it.
Well, Smarts is a film competition that we're setting up for young people between the ages of 8 and 24. It's for short films, about between a minute and 5 minutes long. And we're sort of using the medium of smartphones and tablets because that's sort of a cachet with young people nowadays. And take them beyond just doing selfies or playing Angry Birds or something like that and create something because, you know, free apps nowadays, you know, you can use them to make a film. You know, Hollywood films have been made on smartphones nowadays. And it's sort of a way to engage and give a voice to like the young people in the borough.
Yeah, I just pick you up on that point, Richard. Why is it so important that young people get a voice in the arts?
Because it's their chance, you know. It's they rarely get heard, unfortunately. I mean, they're all talking to each other on Twitter, Facebook, and that sort of thing. But maybe sometimes the adults don't listen, and we want to provide a platform where their voice gets heard around the borough, because there's a lot of there's a lot of talent, and you know it needs to be nurtured.
Now, here at SVTV, we definitely feel like there's a thriving art scene in the borough at the moment. What do you think has sparked this?
Well, hopefully in part to the work that the ANS has done. I mean, previously a lot of the arts were in individual silos, working on their own little projects. And what the members of the team have been able to do is bring them together, you know, and when people talk together, it just builds a stronger voice and sparks new ideas, sparks new collaborations. And I think people have been getting energised by that, to be honest. And one of the things that we have put together, we have an annual celebration of the arts, which we recently held at Nonsuch, the house. And we had bands, we had arts events, we had a 3D printing demonstration, which was great, dancers, and it brings together a lot of people. We had counsellors on there, various artists. It was open to the general public, and for the entrance fee, they also became members of the ANS. Free pizza. It was a great time.
And Richard, finally, the Youth Film Festival, What more details do you have about it?
I mean, it is open to entrants from UK and Ireland, and we'll be promoting it on social media that way, but most of the activity is aimed for Sutton, because the final event is going to be held at the Empire Cinema in Sutton, just around the corner from where we are today. We've had interest from abroad. We've had people from Iran, Belgium, even before we opened the submissions to it, who wanted to know if they could send their films in as well. And I've seen them, and they're very good. We're looking for films between 1 and 4 minutes in length, and we're looking for a theme of transformation, because we think that's relevant to the Sutton High Street, because at the moment, with all the building that's going on, it is going to be transformed over the next year, and it just gives like a creative seed for someone to think about when they're putting their film together. I mean, they could put the film together in an afternoon, a couple of hours, and where hopefully they get the opportunity to see it on the big screen rather than a little screen.
Richard, thank you very much for coming on to SVTV.
Thank you.
Please keep us updated on the Youth Film Festival. We'd love to have the winners of a future episode on SVTV. To discover more about SMART, the Arts Network, and more about the arts scene in Sutton, visit the website at the bottom of your page right now. Do it.
Well, that's the end of our latest show from SVTV. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it. Now, don't forget to keep up to date with the latest news, events and opinions from across this wonderful London Borough at suttonvoice.co.uk.
Yeah, that's right. And if you haven't got your best Sutton fix from today, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. You can also follow Sutton Voice on Twitter and Facebook, but not Instagram. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.
Bye.